the 6th of January 2025. Good evening and welcome to a brand new edition of Newsfirst's Primetime News, coming to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. Bringing you the news this evening for the Newsfirst team, I am Jayamal Ratnayaka.
And I'm Naveksha Gunasekara. Here are your headlines for tonight.
President emphasizes ensuring public confidence in judicial system is the responsibility of AG's department. Sinhala literature exam paper leaked. Disruptions to grade 11 term exam in North Central Province. Resident protest for justice in Wattegama fish vendor's murder. Yoshita's act of charity. Namal explains the reason behind CID's summons.
මේ පාරණක් ඇඳවල තිබ්බේ මේ කතරගම පන්සලේ ඉඩමක වැඩ කරන කෙනෙක්ට දීමනාවක් ගෙවුවා කියලා.
Sajit and Ronil meet at Vellavatta Temple. 16 years since the attack on Depanama Broadcasting Centre. Government plans to purchase Maha season paddy from 3rd week of January.
In your top story for tonight, President Anukumara Dissanayaka and Attorney General Parinder Ranasinghe have discussed several high-profile cases. This discussion took place this afternoon at the request of the Attorney General. The meeting with the President was attended by the Attorney General, officials from the Attorney General's Department and the Minister of Justice. According to the President's Media Division, President Dissanayaka emphasized the importance of all institutions working together to uphold the law. The President highlighted that it is the responsibility of the Attorney General's Department to ensure public confidence in the judicial system and to change the public's perception of political interference, thereby restoring trust. He stressed that public expectations must not be allowed to falter. President Dissanayaka assured that the government would not act in a manner that undermines public expectations and would work to restore the justice system in the eyes of the people. The Attorney General's Department stated that the discussion focused on several issues related to ongoing investigations. The Attorney General presented concerns about delays in investigations to the President and informed him of the measures taken to proceed without further delays. The discussion also covered the need to expedite the resolution of the relevant cases.
In recent times, there have been recurring incidents of examination papers being leaked. The most recent incident involved the leakage of several questions from the Grade 5 scholarship examination paper, which ultimately required judicial intervention to resolve. In addition to national examinations, school term examination papers are now also being leaked. Today's scheduled examination for the Grade 11 third term in the North Central Province had to be cancelled due to such a leak.
The third term examinations for the grade 11 are currently being conducted across 30 divisions in 8 educational zones of the North Central Province. Today's scheduled subject was Sinhala literature. Based on information received about the leakage of the examination paper, the North Central Province Education Secretary Sirimewan Dharmasena announced the cancellation of today's examination.
We have temporarily suspended the examination and postponed it with the expectation of providing a new set of questions. A complaint has already been lodged with the Anuradhapura Central Police Station's various complaints division to investigate this matter. Preliminary investigations are underway to determine where the irregularity occurred. The relevant examination paper will be promptly reissued.
Previously, an investigation was initiated regarding the leakage of the answer sheet for the Grade 6 Geography examination paper in the North Central Province. The Ceylon Teachers Union states that legal action should be taken against those responsible for leaking examination papers.
Disciplinary action must be taken against those involved in leaking examination papers. Additionally, the costs incurred should be recovered. Today's examination has been suspended, but this is not sufficient. We insist that clear and appropriate punishments be given to the individuals involved to stop this disgraceful and unethical practice. The leakage of examination papers in the North Central Province has been a recurring issue. The measures taken to prevent this have been inadequate, leading to the continuation of this problem. This unethical practice has also contributed to the decline in education standards. Proper punishments should be administered and the matter should be handed over to the police and the CID for further investigation.
Meanwhile, a group of parents lodged a complaint with the Anuradhapura SSP's office requesting an investigation into the leakage of examination papers.
මෙවැනි වංචනික ක්‍රියා උතුරුමැද පළාතේ දිගින් දිගටම සිද්ධ වෙද්දී
Despite the continuous occurrence of such fraudulent activities in the North Central Province, some education officials in the Provincial Education Department are reluctant to enforce the law. Even in previous years, proper punishments were not given for such fraudulent examination activities. We have lodged this complaint with the SSP's office today to request a prompt investigation into the leakage of the third term examination papers and answer sheets and to expose it.
සිදු කිරීම සඳහා තමයි අද අපි මේ ජ්‍යෙෂ්ඨ පොලිස් අධිකාරී කාර්යාලයට පැමිණ මේ පැමිණිල්ල යොමු කරේ.
The leakage of this term examination paper comes in the backdrop of two individuals being punished by the Supreme Court for leaking several questions from the Grade 5 scholarship examination. Considering several fundamental rights petitions, the Supreme Court ordered two individuals accused of leaking the scholarship examination questions to pay compensation of 3 million rupees and 2 million rupees respectively. The Supreme Court order stated that the compensation must be paid within 4 weeks. Additionally, the court has ordered the CID to conduct an investigation into the leakage of the scholarship examination questions.
The situation in the Wattegama area of Kandy, which arose following a murder last Friday, has now been fully brought under control by the police. The police stated that a suspect has been arrested in connection with the murder. Vasanta Sanjeeva, also known as Amila, aged 39, was a fish vendor in the Wattegama town. He was brutally hacked to death in front of his house around 11:30 p.m. on Friday night.
Since my brother hadn't come home, my mother decided to call him. As she was making the call, we suddenly heard a loud noise. Unlike his usual bicycle sound, he screamed, "Mother!" and I quickly turned on the light and ran outside. I saw someone fighting with my brother. They struggled, and then I saw my brother being dragged down. There were many cuts. I screamed until help arrived. A vehicle came and the attackers fled.
The suspect in this murder is another fish vendor from the Wattegama town. Last evening, a group gathered in front of the suspect's fish shop to protest. They also caused damage to the shop. Later last evening, the police had brought the situation under control. Today, they obtained an order from the Teldenia Magistrates Court to ensure no public disturbance occurs during the funeral. The police advised against carrying the body through the town. However, this afternoon, a group attempted to carry the body through the Wattegama town, but the police did not allow it. Newsfirst correspondent stated the body was later taken to the Narandanda public cemetery via an alternative route for the final rites.
Former Western Provincial Council member Salochana Gamage and Dushanta Dinesh Ratnaika, who were arrested while allegedly accepting a bribe of 9 million rupees, have been remanded until the 17th of January. This decision was made after they were presented before Colombo Chief Magistrate Tanuja Lakmali today.
During the court proceedings, President's counsel Anil De Silva and Kalinga Indatissa, representing the suspects, requested bail. The lawyers argued that although the suspects were arrested by the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption, the B report submitted did not include any charges under the Bribery Act related to the incident. They further stated that remanding the suspects for several days, citing that investigations are ongoing, is problematic. The lawyers also pointed out that the B report did not present any grounds under the Bail Act to deny bail. The investigating officers who highlighted that the suspect were arrested while allegedly accepting a bribe to facilitate compensation for a plot of land in the Torrington Avenue area of Colombo requested that the bail be denied as investigations are still ongoing. After considering the arguments from both sides, the magistrate ordered the suspects to be remanded until the 17th of January and set the date for the bail order.
As a media organization that stands for the truth and the people's right to know, we cannot forget the incidents that transpired on the 6th of January. On a day like today, 16 years ago, media freedom in the country and the right to free speech was dealt a serious blow. The Depanama Broadcasting Centre, a facility that revolutionized the legacy of Sri Lankan radio and television broadcasting. Sirasa, Shakti and then MTV channels, alongside a group of radio stations, were part of the most advanced main control room in South Asia, located in this very premises. No one believed that the steps taken to silence this voice of the people, which never remained silent amidst threats and roars, would turn into such a brutal and savage attack. However, it happened. In the early hours of January 6, 2009, at 2:10 a.m., a masked armed gang broke into the Depanama premises in unmarked white vans. They targeted our main control room to simultaneously silence our media network, which broadcasted from 3 locations: Ratmalana, Union Place and Depanama. Some members of the gang cut through the front fence and entered the Depanama complex, while others climbed over the fence. The armed gang, who terrified the security officers by brandishing firearms, then took Nihal Atuluage, who was working in the transmission section at that time, into their custody.
කට්ටියක් ආවා මම හිටියේ සේවයේ නියුතලා හිටියේ ට්‍රාන්ස්මිෂන් රූම් එකේ බලනකොට වෙපන් එකක් තියාගත්ත පුජ්‍යලයක් මෙතන වගේ වම් අත පැත්තේ හිටගෙන
A person holding a weapon was standing to my left. He made me face the wall and assaulted me. The man with the weapon turned me around and shot me. This is where the bullet hit. I was inside the MCR when I came to once again.
එක්කෙනා මට මෙතන බිත්තියට හේතු කරලා හරියට වෙපන් එක මෙතනින් තියලා මට ෂූට් කරා. ෂූට් කළේ හරියට මෙන්න මෙතන උණ්ඩේ තිබුණේ මෙතන. මට ආපහු නැවත මතකේ එනකොට මම හිටියේ MCR එක ඇතුලේ.
At that time, the group broke into the main control room where broadcasting activities were ongoing.
A person who had covered his face with a black cloth entered, firing his gun and shouting at me.
මම දුවගෙන ආයි ආවා පාරක මැදිරියට දුවගෙන ආවා. ඇවිදින් මගේ වැඩ කරන අනිත් දෙන්නත්
I ran back to the MCR and hid with 2 other colleagues of mine. They entered firing their weapons and that damaged our equipment. After a silence of 2 to 3 minutes, we heard a loud explosion.
විනාඩි 2-3ක් නිශ්ශබ්දතාවයක් තිබුණා. ඊට පස්සේ ලොකු පිපිරින් හඬක් ඇහුණා.
The armed gang that attacked the main control room also launched a grenade attack, completely destroying it. They left the main control room after planting a high-powered claymore mine. Only a part of the high-powered claymore mine exploded, which is why there were no casualties from this brutal attack. The end of Sirasa. That must have been the goal of the individuals or group behind this savage attack.
Thanks to the courage and dedication of the entire team, we were able to stand on our own 2 feet once more.
However, under the direct leadership of an exceptionally skilled engineering team and brave journalists in Sri Lanka, it took us less than 3 hours to shatter the expectations of the attackers.
දකුණු ආසියාවේ තිබිච්ච දියුණුම තාක්ෂණයක් සහිත ප්‍රධාන පාලක මැදිරියක් අපිට තිබුණේ. ඒ ප්‍රධාන පාලක මැදිරිය විනාශ වෙලා තියෙනවා දැක්ක. අපිට ලොකු කාලයක් තිබුණේ මුලින්ම දැනුවත් කිරීමක් කරා ජනතාවට.
We had the most sophisticated main control rooms in the whole of South Asia. At the time, in 2009, we saw it destroyed. We didn't have much time. Our first duty was to inform the public of this attack. The main control room, as the name suggests, is vital for any broadcasting purpose. But we managed to patch the broadcast to the news and continued airing the information for the benefit of the masses without a functional main control room. Within several hours, we were able to start broadcasting on all 3 channels, including Sirasa TV, through the main control room by utilizing primitive analog technology.
Sirasa TV channel එක තව පැය ඉතුරු කාලය තුලදී නාලිකා 3ම අපිට නැවත සකස් කරගන්න පුළුවන් වුණා ප්‍රධාන පාලක මැදිරිය හරහා විකාශනය වෙන පරිදි.
MTV MBC studio complex in Depanema was attacked by an armed.
I think as a team and as a company, we withstood that pressure and we showed the world that we were fearless, and an event like that wasn't going to get us down. And that was the thing, that was the most memorable thing that happened and lives with me to this date.
Even when everything was reduced to ashes, we returned to the people, clearly demonstrating that claymore bombs could not challenge the people's right to information. Today, on the very ground where the bombs were planted, we have rebuilt a state-of-the-art main control room. 16 years have passed. It is regretful that those responsible for this brutal and barbaric attack have not yet been brought to justice. However, our strength to rise fearlessly every time an attempt was made to destroy us has always come from the people. We grew stronger because of the courage you gave us and the trust you placed in us. This will remain the foundation of our future. Truth can be suppressed, but it cannot be buried forever. Newsfirst, with the people.
Newsfirst, with the people.
There are currently various hints about a possible alliance between the Samagi Jana Balawegaya and the United National Party. During a media briefing called by the Samagi Jana Balawegaya today, questions were raised about this potential alliance, and at the same time, information also emerged about a meeting between Sajith Premadasa and Ranil Wickremesinghe.
Both Ranil Wickremesinghe, leader of the United National Party, and Sajith Premadasa, leader of the Samagi Jana Balawegaya, attended a ceremony yesterday at the Vallavatta Bodhirukkarama temple to celebrate the 50th birthday of Venerable Valipata Dhamma Ramathera. The cameras captured a friendly conversation between the two leaders, facilitated by UNP chairman Vajra Abewardana.
What is this new alliance? Is there a merger between SJB and UNP?
ජනතාව ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා අපි ඉදිරියට සාකච්ඡා කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා සුදුසු විදිහකට ඒ කටයුතු කරේ. රනිල් මහත්තයාත් එක්ක සාකච්ඡා කරලා තියෙන්නේ නෑ තාම එහෙම සාකච්ඡා ආරම්භ කළා නෑ. එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂය අපේනේ ඇත්තටම.
The United National Party is essentially ours. We who contested under the Samagi Jana Balavegaya are now MPs under the telephone symbol. However, the United National Party is ours. The majority of SJB members across the country are from the UNP. We are not two separate groups. We just need to come closer together, which will happen in the future. Meanwhile, the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna is currently holding various discussions related to the upcoming local government elections.
Following a meeting held at the SLPP headquarters today, the party's national organizer Namal Rajapaksa responded to two key issues. These issues were the summoning of Yoshitha Rajapaksa by the CID and Vimal Weerawansa's appearance before the CID regarding allegations against Basil Rajapaksa.
Every time there is a change in government, my brothers and I are summoned to give statements. This time they summoned Yoshitha for allegedly paying compensation to a worker at the Katragama temple. Now, even acts of charity are becoming a big issue under this government. It seems charity is now subject to criminal law. The match was fixed. That's what I said. We also need to clear the allegations against us. To clear them, these allegations need to be investigated.
The General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna also criticised Vimal Weerawansa's actions.
විමල් වීරවංශ මැතිතුමා කරපු ප්‍රකාශය අපි දැක්කා.
We saw the statement made by Vimal Weerawansa. He made a loud statement after appearing before the CID. But we see two sides to this. Firstly, this is the first time Weerawansa has made such a statement after being removed from the cabinet. It raises questions about his sincerity.
තියෙන ඔහුගේ සත්භාවය සම්බන්ධයෙන් අපිට යම්කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් එනවා.
The SLPP also criticised Weerawansa at the regional level through media briefings.
There is a suspicion whether Vimal Weerawansa is now a spy for the government. Otherwise, it seems like he is trying to save himself from some impending danger by attacking the Rajapaksas.
During the Newsfirst 10 Questions program, Weerawansa made a statement regarding Basil Rajapaksa, which led to his appearance before the CID's Financial Investigations Division last Friday.
Basil Rajapaksa.
I was summoned today to provide a statement related to a comment I made several years ago on a private electronic media channel about certain properties owned by Basil Rajapaksa and his family in the United States. We handed over some written information related to that statement to the police officers.
There are discussions on political alliances amidst various reactions to allegations of fraud and corruption. Meanwhile, what's happening in the village?
What happened to the village? Some development projects have faced significant issues, leaving little to be said. Take a look at this. This is the Watadeniya Appalagoda Bridge. Construction began in 2022 with the promise of completion. A bridge that could previously support a three-wheeler was demolished for reconstruction.
අපිට තිබ්බ පාලමක් නැති කරලා සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම දැන් මේ පාලම මේ පස්වලට යට වෙලා තියෙන්නේ වැඩ කරපු ටික. දැන් මිනිසුන්ට එගොඩ මෙගොඩ යා ගන්නත් විදිහක් නැතුව මගේ ගේ විදුලෙන් තමයි ඔක්කොමලා එගොඩ මෙගොඩ යන්නේ.
අපච්චිගේ මේ මරණ වෙලා මිනිහ පවා අරන් ගිහින් මෙතනින් මේ පාඩි පෙලක් කපාගෙන ඇලකින් තමයි අරගෙන ගියේ මිනිහ.
The Rural Bridge Construction Program allocated nearly 20 million rupees for this project. After about a month of work, the contractor disappeared with the equipment. The bridge was supposed to be completed in 2023.
එතන හොඳ පාලමක් තිබ්බේ. ඒ පාලම කල්ලා වෙලා දැන් අපිට යන්නත් නැහැ. 10ක් විතර මිනිස්සු එහාට මෙහාට යන්නේ මේ පාරේ. කරපු මගුලකුත් නැහැ. පාලම කඩලා අවුරුදු 3ක් විතර වෙනවා. දැන් මිනිහෙකුට යන්න දෙයක් නැහැනේ බලන්නකො. කරපු අපරාධේ.
වැස්සට මෙතන වතුර පිරීලා අපේ ළමයි මේකේ ගහගෙන යන්නත් ඉඩ තියෙනවා. මේ වලට වැටුනොත් එහෙම අපේ ළමයිගේ ජීවිතات අනතුරේ සර්.
These aren't major projects. Work began with an allocation of 20 million rupees. Where is the money now? Those planning to contest the next local elections should look into this project that has left a village in hardship.
What happened to the village?
The Paddy Marketing Board has announced that the purchase of Maha season paddy will commence from the third week of January. Chairman of the Paddy Marketing Board, Manjula Pinnalanda, stated that preparations for this are currently underway. He mentioned that the paddy will be purchased regionally, taking into account the harvesting schedules of each area. Meanwhile, the government has decided to set a guaranteed price for paddy. The Minister of Agriculture stated that the guaranteed price will be announced within this week.
Life's not about lines, it's about breaking free. It's not about boxes, it's about exploding beyond them. You're the miracle generation. Leading the way, rocking a magical vibe. Unleash your vibe. YFM Relax Party.
Companies play better politics than the politicians of today.
We are not supposed to play with the people's expectation. Then it will be a huge disaster.
When you're bankrupt and when you're going to bankruptcy, two different.
The grandfather is saying it is going to take this long. What does he know?
It's about the lack of sense of humor in Sri Lankans.
Issues that matter the most. Unfiltered discussions. Real answers. Face to face. Monday to Thursday at 8 p.m. on TV1.
South Korea's economy is facing challenges due to the ongoing political crisis. The political turmoil, which began with President Yoon Suk-yeol's brief imposition of martial law in December 2024, has led to a decline in confidence.
South Korean investigators sought an extension of a warrant to arrest impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol as visiting U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken reaffirmed confidence in the key Asian allies' handling of the political turmoil. Investigators probing Yoon over his martial law proclamation failed to serve an arrest warrant last week, blocked by Presidential Security Service guards who formed a human chain to prevent access to Yoon.
South Korea was spared a financial milestone even as it battles a political crisis, underscoring the extent to which its markets have matured, bolstered by swift efforts to reassure investors. Global funds were net buys of government bonds in December, and the cost to insure South Korea's debt against default hit only a 4-month high. This suggests investors maintained confidence in the country despite President Yoon Suk-yeol's bid to impose martial law, a shocking move that threatened its democratic foundations and led to his impeachment by lawmakers. At the heart of faith in South Korea is the crisis response by the top authorities, which won praise from investors. This followed efforts to modernize the nation's market infrastructure to secure a spot in the FTSE Russell's bond index for countries such as the United States and Germany. South Korea's martial law crisis unfolded at night, and in the early hours, the financial authorities responded to the situation by pledging liquidity support to calm investor jitters. They held nearly daily meetings in recent weeks to ensure market stability. They took similar action on the 30th of December following the country's worst civil aviation disaster, which claimed 179 lives. Credit default swap data suggests that investors were less concerned about South Korea than about the attempted coup in Turkey in 2016, which led to sovereign rating cuts. While the South Korean won racked up the biggest losses among Asian currencies in the final quarter of 2024, investors say part of the drop is due to a strong US dollar trend and global trade risks linked to US President-elect Donald Trump rather than domestic politics. Although the won and stocks were sold off in the immediate aftermath of the martial law, the price action did not indicate widespread market panic. To be sure, the government's ban on short selling has likely helped staunch the stock market rout. The restrictions, which have remained in place for more than a year, are considered an impediment to the country's efforts to win a developed market status from MSCI.
Justin Trudeau is expected to announce his resignation as the leader of Canada's Liberal Party this week.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is increasingly likely to announce he intends to step down, though he has not made a final decision. Reuters reported that Trudeau was expected to announce as early as on Monday that he would quit as leader of Canada's ruling Liberal Party after 9 years in office. Trudeau's departure would leave the party without a permanent head at a time when polls show that Liberals will badly lose to the official opposition Conservatives in an election that must be held by late October. Sources have said that they did not know definitely when Trudeau would announce his plans to leave, but said they expect it would happen before an emergency meeting of Liberal legislators on Wednesday. An increasing number of Liberal parliamentarians, alarmed by a series of gloomy polls, have publicly urged Trudeau to quit. The Prime Minister's office did not immediately respond to a request for comment outside regular business hours. The Prime Minister's regularly published schedule for Monday said he would participate virtually in a cabinet meeting on Canada-US relations. It remains unclear whether Trudeau will leave immediately or stay on as Prime Minister until a new Liberal leader is selected.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight.
Thank you for watching. Good night.
Life's not about lines, it's about breaking free. It's not about boxes, it's about exploding beyond them. You're the miracle generation, leading the way, rocking a magical vibe. Unleash your vibe. YFM Relax Party.
My vibe, where the vibe is sweet. Got the freshest tracks, we are always in style. Bringing the energy, come stay for a while. Loca ya